Everyone, are you sleeping well these days? No? And you found this video while trying to fall asleep? I'm so sorry, because that means you're not sleeping. And trust me, I used to be a loyal customer of the 2 a.m. anxiety industry. Back when I worked full-time, my to-do list never stopped multiplying. Leaving the office on time, I thought that was a myth. Most days I got home past midnight, and the moment I lay down, my brain turned on. During the day, empty. At night, suddenly NASA-level calculation mode. How do I survive tomorrow's meeting? What if my manager hates my report? Eyes closed, brain wide awake, body exhausted, mind doing overtime for free. After a few nights of that, you don't just get tired. You start turning into a bilingual zombie, human by day, existential crisis by night. But here's the twist. All the things that made me tremble at 3 a.m., the next day, almost nothing happened. Meetings went fine. My report got approved. Not perfect, but acceptable. And that's when I realized anxiety grows 10 times bigger in imagination than in reality. So I started asking myself, if I can't erase anxiety, is there a way to make it hurt less? Is it possible to use anxiety instead of fighting it? That question led me into philosophy. Stoicism, Heidegger, Buddhism, determinism, and eventually psychology and neuroscience. And that's what I want to share today. That anxiety isn't a malfunction, but quite possibly a sign that you're actually living your life right. And how to work with that signal instead of suffering under it. You know those people who are always chill? Absolutely calm. Nothing bothers them. No stress ever. I used to envy them. Wow, their mind must be bulletproof. But then I realized they're basically a bicycle with no brakes. Sure, they look cool speeding downhill, but everyone watching knows exactly how that ends. Tree, hug, full speed. Anxiety is uncomfortable, like sweaty hands, fast heartbeat, overheating brain, but it's also your braking system. It says, slow down, check your surroundings, this part actually matters. So, having zero anxiety doesn't mean you're mentally strong. Sometimes it just means your danger radar is unplugged. Meanwhile, anxious people, they're not weak, they're tuned in. At the beginning of the video, Heidegger said, anxiety is not something to eliminate, but a signal through which existence wakes itself up. In Heidegger's terms, anxiety doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means this moment is important. Anxiety doesn't show up in random scenes. It only appears in the moments where something is at stake. Afraid of an exam? Because the result actually affects your future. Nervous before an interview? Because you're stepping towards something you truly want. Scared of failing? Because you're finally moving towards success. Anxiety isn't the sign of failure. It's the sign of challenge, growth, and forward motion. If anxiety shows up, it usually means you're standing at a meaningful crossroads right now. Your brain is working exactly as designed. Amygdala, danger detected. Prefrontal cortex, wait, is it real danger? Autonomic nervous system, prepare to run for your life. This system evolved for tigers and cliffs. Today, your brain reacts the same way to emails, presentations, job interviews, deadlines. Your brain doesn't care. Threat detected equals panic mode. Even if that threat is tomorrow's meeting. So, when you can't sleep, it's not because a lion is outside your bedroom, it's because your brain thinks your PowerPoint slides are the lion. Most anxiety isn't because you're broken, it's because your brain is too loyal. Helpful, sometimes annoying, always. Humanity has tried to deal with anxiety for thousands of years, and one of the first breakthroughs came from a man removing worn sandals at a doorway. Epictetus. Born a slave, but mentally freer than most of us. So he said, You cannot control the world, but you can control your judgments and actions. Weather? Not in your control. Bitcoin? Basically prayer. Other people's emotions? Completely unmanageable. But your choices, actions, and attitude? 100% controllable. Anxiety grows when you try to touch the untouchable. It shrinks when you focus on what your hands can actually move. Buddhism says the root of suffering is not the situation itself, but the clinging to how it must be. I must succeed. I must not fail. I must be accepted. These attachments multiply anxiety. Buddhism doesn't tell you to kill emotions. It tells you to grow the observer, the you that watches them. So when anxiety shows up, you can say, my anxiety came? It can sit next to me. But I'm driving today. It's not about eliminating emotion, but not letting emotion sit in the driver's seat. Determinism says, every event is the result of previous conditions. That includes anxiety, sleep deprivation, comparison, pressure, past failures, high expectations, chronic stress. Put them together, of course anxiety appears. It's not, I'm anxious because I'm weak. It's, I'm anxious because the conditions created that outcome. Understanding this doesn't erase free will, but it does reduce self-blame. Suddenly, anxiety becomes not a personal defect, but a system reaction you can adjust. When you lie still doing nothing, anxiety grows. Why? Because the default mode network, DMN, in your brain activates. DMN equals the system that plays past regrets plus future worries on an infinite loop. So the quieter your body becomes, the louder your thoughts get. That's why beating anxiety requires not just mental shifts, but physical action. If you can't stop thinking, you can still change what you do. Here's how to bring all this philosophy and science into real life. 1. Separate what you can control from what you can't. Ask yourself, is this something I can actually influence? Outcome, other people's reactions, luck. Not controllable. Preparation, action, attitude. Controllable. Anxiety spent on the uncontrollable is a strikeout. Anxiety spent on what you can control is a base hit. 2. Imagine the worst. Premeditatio malorum. Stoics. Purposely imagine worst-case scenarios. Not to suffer early, but to remove the shock. When you know the worst, you can prepare. Preparedness reduces anxiety. Your vague fear becomes a concrete checklist. 3. Treat emotions as objects, not masters. When anxiety comes, don't follow it immediately. Pause. What exactly am I afraid of? What's real and what's exaggerated? What action is this anxiety asking for? The moment you observe anxiety, instead of obeying it, you stop being the actor and become the director. 4. Do only what you can do today. The past can't change. The future can't be controlled. Today, you can touch that. So ask, what's one thing I can do today? 1 page of study, 1 slide updated, a short walk, a proper night's sleep. Action doesn't erase anxiety, but it redirects it toward preparation. We cannot erase anxiety. It's built into being human, but we can choose whether we're dragged by it or guided by it. And remember this, for all the anxiety you felt, almost everything in your life ended up working out somehow. That somehow wasn't luck. It was you, staying up, researching, worrying, preparing, trying even while scared. We tell ourselves, I worried for nothing. No. Things went well because you cared enough to worry and act. And strangely, once everything is over, the struggle often becomes something you're proud of. Anxiety never defeated you. If anything, it pushed you. You moved, you handled it, you grew. And when the next wave of anxiety comes, just grab your surfboard, Don't fear the wave. You're already a seasoned surfer.